a trained counseling psychologist and positive psychologist. I'm also a tutorial fellow here at Miano University at the Department of Social Sciences. Today, I want to briefly talk about happiness and proven ways to improve our levels of happiness. So many of us want to feel happier in our day-to-day lives. As a student, you may be feeling weighed down by responsibilities. It could be exams, it could be assignments, it could be presentations, or you may be experiencing challenges being away from family support, having to make new friends, trying to find out what activities to be a part of, figuring out rent and budgeting. So there may be a lot going on in your mind. And all of those things may sometimes make you feel like life is just about getting from one day to the other in one piece. So you may end up feeling anxious or feeling tired and losing pleasure in doing things that interest you, or even feeling sad. So when the pressure builds, it feels much easier at times to look for quick fixes, things that make us feel happier or that take away the tension at that time that you might be experiencing. However, not all quick fixes help or bring about happiness. Binging on alcohol or taking substances do not actually drown the problems that you might be experiencing. They might end up even raising new problems. The same goes for gambling or spending hours on social media platforms. Those and many other things may bring about temporary feelings of happiness and relief, but not in the long term. So what are some of the proven ways to help increase one's happiness and that actually have long-term benefits? So not just those temporary things or those quick fixes. What are those things that we can do, or those things that have been shown to help increase levels of happiness, and even for a longer time you'll be seeing benefits? You'll be surprised to find out that the few things that I'll mention are actually things that you can do quite easily in your day-to-day life. Did you know that those who spend time practicing gratitude can actually increase their levels of happiness? So this is one way, practicing gratitude. Those who practice gratitude feel more positive, are more aware and focused, and much happier, less anxious, and less depressed. When we practice gratitude, there are actually some brain chemicals involved in our brain that are released. The happiness and the reward chemicals in our brain, that is serotonin and dopamine, are actually released when we practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude is powerful because it also changes the brain structures. And I won't go deep into that, but it's actually been proven that it does have an effect on our brain structure. Gratitude also improves our relationships with other people. We end up having more empathy for others, better communication as well. So now gratitude, like I've mentioned, has those benefits on the brain, with relationships, but also with better health. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude has benefits on our health. And if you want more restful sleep, gratitude has also been linked to better sleep. And there are so many other benefits that I won't go into now. How can we go about practicing gratitude? How can we do it? It's really not hard at all. To start reaping those benefits, the act of practicing gratitude isn't actually not that hard at all. I want you to pause and write down just one thing that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be huge things. You may not be feeling particularly grateful for anything. It could be you were trying to cross the road and someone stopped their motorbike or their car to allow you to pass. You could be grateful for that. Or you could be grateful that your classmate helped you understand a difficult concept that you were trying to understand. Or it could even be a phone call with a loved one that made you smile. Whatever it is, take a few minutes to just think about, note it down on a notebook or even on your phone, just those things that you're feeling grateful for today. I know one thing I did at one time was write down on a tiny piece of paper each day, just on a tiny piece of paper, I would write down one thing that I was grateful for about that day. And I would put that paper in a box. And months later, I would come back to that box to reflect on the things I had written. And it would surprise me at the things that I would have written, and they would make me smile and relive those moments again. So what happens when you do this on a daily basis is that you start to reflect on the day, and your brain now starts to look for those things that happen in your day to add to the list. So your brain is like, oh, okay, so we are practicing gratitude. What other things can I look out for that are happening that I can be grateful for? Because over time, or as a result, over time, you become more conscious of things to be grateful for. Our brains naturally have a tendency to focus on the negative. So by practicing gratitude, we can help our brains to start refocusing on the good and the positive that is happening around us, which may result in feeling more grateful and feeling more content. As I've said, most times we tend to see the negative or to remember the negative that has happened in our day. But by practicing gratitude, we can then refocus our brains to look out for the positive and the good things that are even actually happening in that day, which will leave you feeling more content. Now, when can you do this? Perhaps right before bed, you can do this exercise. Note down 3 things you're grateful for that day. It could be on a notebook, like I've said, or on your phone if it's easier. Add it to your daily routine to make it work for you. So it could be when you're brushing your teeth or when you're walking to campus or walking back home. You can find a way to incorporate it into your daily life so that it ends up feeling more like a routine and not a chore that you have to do. It could be even when you're queuing at the supermarket. As long as you're reliving those moments of feeling grateful, you will reap the benefits later on. So another way could be even posting on social media something you're grateful for. You could challenge yourself to post one thing you're grateful for each day during the week on social media. I want you to choose just one way that works for you and practice it. Commit to doing that, practice that, commit to it, and come back and let us know how it worked for you. So I've talked about gratitude and how it helps us feel happier. But what else can one do to feel happier? The second thing I want to talk about is acts of kindness. Doing something for someone else. When we're actually looking for those opportunities to serve other people. That's what I'm talking about right now. And service can be in multiple forms, and there can be multiple opportunities in a day if we set our minds on finding these opportunities. It could be helping someone with directions. It could be washing the dishes when your roommate is not around or they're unable to. It could be accompanying your friend to the clinic when they're not feeling well. There are many different ways to show kindness, and these have benefits not only for the person who's receiving the act, but even for the one who's giving. This may also help us build the relationships that we have. You know what else may help us feel even happier is when we take time to build connections with other people. We all need people. At times you may have to get out of your comfort zone, perhaps those who feel more on the introverted side, just to be able to build those friendships that we desire. One way is maybe looking out for those opportunities, doing extracurricular activities that you enjoy and finding like-minded people in that you want to know better. Mostly because a sense of belonging can increase your happiness. So I want you to think, what is one act of kindness that you can do today? Or what is one way or one thing that you'll do to be able to connect with others more? You could find it's even just a phone call that will help with that connection, a phone call to find out how is someone else doing, and you might end up building those connections. So I've spoken about gratitude, I've spoken about acts of kindness. Linked with that as well is building connections with others. And now I want to mention exploring your values. What are those things that are most important to you? That's what I'm talking about when I say values, those things that are important to you. It might be different for other people. Maybe for you, creativity is important. Maybe it's kindness. Maybe it's learning. There are multiple values, and a quick Google search will give you a long list of possible values. And I just want you to have a look for yourself at your own time. What are your values? Write them down, really think about them. What are those things that you value? And then have a look. Are you aligning your life with your values? Is your life headed in that direction towards your values? And it's been shown that those who live a life that is aligned with their values are actually much happier. So it might be a good idea to just look and see, is that how my life is going? If I love learning, am I taking opportunities to learn? If my value is kindness, am I taking opportunities to be kind to another person? If I value adventure, am I looking for those opportunities to be adventurous? Because all those things might end up improving your mood and improving your happiness. So those are the 3 things I want you to think about. Like I said, quick fixes are just temporary. They won't bring lasting happiness and may end up even bringing about more problems later on. So I hope you found this beneficial for you. And in case of you want to talk more about what you're going through, any issues, any emotions, please feel free to reach out to the student counselor here at Pan University, Miss Winnie, if you need to talk to someone about what you're experiencing. There is no need to bottle up your emotions when there is someone you can talk to. So until next time, bye for now.